because I'm on call currently. So
What's going on, everybody?
that.
I'm Dr. Jim Cellini, and you better subscribe to this podcast. Is that good?
I'm Jim
Where else?
Cellini, and I'm 3 feet away from my camera.
Yeah,
I'm Jim Cellini, and I need a 16 millimeter lens.
clearly. But yes, people, we really need you to subscribe. If you're listening to this, if you listen to it every week, just subscribe. We're almost at 1,000. We're so close. Once we hit that 1,000 milestone, we just blast off. We just
Provide the
blast off.
content
So close,
that
I
you're
can
looking
taste
for.
Yeah.
It will push us over the edge. We'll make more videos. The more podcasts we do, just more encouraging all around for everyone. So if you like
for
content,
everybody.
subscribe. If you're not subscribed already and you listen, you might as well just click the subscribe
Please, if you're listening to this and you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button.
button. Yeah.
There's a lot of
Please-
lurkers out there. People
Yeah.
lurking around in the shadows.
And I don't mean the StarCraft unit from the Zerg.
Oh, jeez.
Okay.
That's going to go over everybody's head, especially mine.
Yeah.
And,
I bet some
don't
people
even
play
know.
StarCraft out here.
You know, it's funny. I just opened up my battle.net thing, and I was looking at all the games because like Modern
Yeah.
Warfare 2 is coming out, and StarCraft is a Blizzard game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, look at that. There's StarCraft for old Jimbo.
I never got into StarCraft too heavy just because I always felt so tired after playing one match because it's like literally playing like fast. It's like chess, like it's like move like that.
All right. And we're back.
Okay.
Let me redirect the podcast away from video games.
Hey, let's keep talking about video games. Let's
Jim,
just
we have the same
rebrand
cup.
ourselves.
Same cup.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Jim.
shout out Melissa. My MRI tech got me this for Christmas.
Oh, that's nice. I had to steal
of
Andrena's.
her. That's very nice. Do your techs like you, Jim? Are you good?
She's
to your techs?
some of them do. she's a human MRI tech, and she works with us like half and her human job half.
Oh wow,
Nice.
that's pretty good.
That's good.
You
I
might
mean, the same
double dip
MRI
that.
machine.
Yeah, ours
know?
is way less nice and slow, but what are you gonna do?
You got to start somewhere.
Do you have like
Yeah.
a 20th generation MRI at your place?
Yeah, something like that. It's from
It's for like 96.
yeah,
Does it have Windows 96?
yeah. It's got that little golf game on it in Minesweeper.
Mine's
What was the one-
the best.
Was that the one where you clicked the buttons and like the bomb showed up or whatever?
Yeah, it gives you the number how many
Like flags and like a mine.
Yeah. There's like one of the state online gambling games that is like that. People like bet a lot of money. You have it's basically a blank screen with like squares, and you have 3 bets. You bet like $10,000. I wouldn't obviously, but they do. And they bet like $10,000 and you get 3 clicks. And if you don't hit a bomb, like, because it's just guessing.
I mean,
If you don't hit a bomb, you win. Like, I think it's like 2-1 or something.
Oh,
But,
God, that's hilarious.
But you hit a bomb, but you lose all your money. It's the most ridiculous game on earth.
I love how
How about this game called Crash? Have you guys heard of this on YouTube?
No.
Or not on YouTube, but on like the crypto staking casinos. Dude, check this out. I'm gonna share this screen with you real quick.
Yeah.
I think all you do in this game is you just like you try to time it and you try to stop before it crashes.
Oh yeah, I used to play
God.
this on the DraftKings.
You used to play this? God, you're a degenerate.
Well, no, it's a spaceship. You bet like $5, and yeah, you just time it.
Do you get
Time
that
it!
amount of money?
Yeah, that's
X-
the
Yeah, you get that
you
amount of
know.
money.
Why don't
So
you just
I-
stop right there?
You
Well,
win.
because
So
if
you
you
bet
go
like
to
little
this-
$5 bets, because sometimes it'll go up to like 500x.
But I mean, if you just every time it goes like 3x, aren't you 3xing your money right there?
Yeah, for sure. But then sometimes it'll blow up like immediately.
well, this
Like-
seems foolproof.
Yeah, I mean,
Talk
they're
about
just
the
tracking all
gambler's
numbers.
fallacy. My God.
I know.
Oh
Anyway.
God, was he? He's like, no, it's gonna hit next time. It's gonna
Yeah.
hit the 5.
Yeah.
So guys, welcome in. I'm Dr. Jim Cellini. This is my brother, Dr. Michael Cellini, and this is my other brother, Dr. Tommy Cellini. They're radiologists. I'm a veterinary neurologist, and we have podcasts. Welcome to it. Michael, I'm going to be hanging out with you this weekend. I'm coming over to your house tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is tomorrow Friday already?
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't wait.
Wow.
I'm
really
gonna come over to
can't
Michael's house, and then so tomorrow we're probably just gonna have a drink inside and chill because that's all I
Mhm.
want to do. And then Saturday morning we're gonna play golf. I'm gonna film I'm gonna do an episode called 18 Questions with Dr. Cellini.
Do you have 18 questions?
No, so I gotta publish it on my Instagram.
I mean, it's
tonight,
actually
and then-
that's actually a really good idea for a video.
Yeah.
and then
Michael's gonna steal it now.
I'm gonna tag
Yeah.
you, and then you're gonna repost it so we can actually get more than 3 views. So that would be good. And then we're gonna do a video where you do more board exam questions.
These board exam questions, God.
I know
Jim
Jim's really
loves
don't
these.
work. I thought this was supposed to be a leisurely weekend.
Jim,
It
how
is
much
for
do you
me.
love
This
the
is
board
nothing
exam
for me.
question stuff? You
Hey,
love.
that was my best performing video. It's at like 95,000 views.
oh,
that's
just
good.
repeat it.
Same thing again.
Just
And
redo
then
it.
I'll probably steal your equipment to do my own video on like Sunday morning or something.
I mean, this guy.
Oh, sweet. I mean, this guy comes over. He's
I
like, "Hey,
know.
I'm gonna hang out with you. Let's just film content."
Yeah, he's like, I'm just gonna film content at your expense nonstop, Michael. How's that
I mean,
work out?
I don't mind that, but I've just in the last I talked to you guys about it in the summer months. I've just been like slowing down the content because I'm having so much fun. Like I'm in a new city in the summer. You know, I'm new in my new location. Want to go to the beach. I want to go play golf. You know, we're still down a man in my practice, so I'm working overtime. This is my 18th day straight of work. Tomorrow's my 19th, and I'm finally done. Have a weekend off, and that's why I'm
Jeez.
excited. I know.
Weren't you? I mean, you say days straight of work, but like you were on the golf course like 3 days ago.
Yeah, I was on call, and then I still have to read MRIs on the weekend. So, like outpatient MRIs.
Yeah, but that's not the same thing as going into work.
I didn't go like physically into the hospital. Well, I think I did go in actually, but
Well, you need to modify what you say from now on to stay accurate. Okay.
Okay,
I'm
so
gonna
that was
call you
two-
out.
okay.
I'm gonna call
So
you out on this.
17 of the 19 days were 17 of the 19
God.
days are pure in the hospital working. 2 of those days I was reading MRIs and taking phone calls
Yeah.
about work that doesn't constitute work in Jim's eyes.
I've had the easy in terms of work. I've had the easiest like
Career?
6 weeks I've had in a very long time.
Career? You mean every week?
Maybe
Why is it the easiest? Just volume's low?
volume's a little bit lower. Our emergency's so busy they can't like fit anything in anymore. So they end up just telling people to like not come in if it's not like life threatening.
That's
And
fair.
then I end up seeing less like neuro emergencies because of it. I'm just like, all right, I'll go home at 5, literally
Yeah.
every single day.
That's kind of nice.
No, it could be worse.
So
Yeah. It's not
It's
terrible.
good in the
But,
summer.
the wife and baby left on Tuesday. They're coming back next Tuesday, so I've had the whole week to myself pretty much.
I mean,
You're
what
looking
have you
like
been
me.
I know, same. What have you been doing? I can just imagine.
The last 2 days, I come home from work at 5 and I just watch YouTube until 9:30, and then I go to bed.
God, how
I mean,
great is
that's
that?
That's literally every day for me.
I remember what that's like. Dude, not having to do, for all you guys out there who are parents, not having to do the morning and the nighttime routine with your toddler or infant is a huge, dare I say, time saver. Now, I miss my daughter greatly, as it turns out, but not having to do those things every morning and every night, whoo, does that make it relaxing?
Just makes
Yeah.
it so much easier to do stuff from 5 to 7 o'clock. You don't have
Yeah.
to worry about stuff.
Michael and Adriana, they were just here, and they kind of, they saw old B's nighttime and morning time routines. It's a lot of work.
Yeah, I mean, too much work. actually. I mean, it's ridiculous. I also took an allergy pill because Jim lives in the country, and my allergies were flared
Oh,
out
God,
of.
what is he, mom?
I do. I felt like it, and I took
My
one,
allergies.
and I take the Zyrtec whenever my allergies like crazy, and John and I both took the Zyrtec, and it had to be a drowsy one because I couldn't even function. I was like,
I mean, what? Mike,
I don't
Jim,
know.
is this
We were so tired. Like coffee was just like bouncing off of me. So tired. And I was like, the only explanation is that those were drowsy.
No, Zyrtec. I take
Cetirizine.
Zyrtec every day.
Me too. But I
Yeah,
took
there's
that
no-
there.
I
That
don't- I
wasn't
don't know
mine.
what.
There's no drowsy form of Zyrtec. It's
He woke up the next day, like he came in on a Friday, and on Saturday, the whole day, he was just like,
I was a zombie.
did he do this thing? He goes, dude, I am so tired.
yeah. He was just like,
felt like I took a Benadryl and not a Zyrtec. Is
I
what
mean,
I'm saying.
Benadryl is a different story.
That's what I
I'll
felt
fall
like.
asleep all day.
Have you
long.
ever taken a Benadryl during the day?
Oh
and
yeah.
you're just exhausted, just dragging. That's what I felt like.
I've taken one at like 10 a.m. before, and then by like 10:30, 11, I'm like, I have to take a nap. But I
Yeah.
can't keep my eyes open.
You have no choice.
Yeah,
I mean, I
Benadryl
remember
will
when I
kill you.
had a reaction to kiwi. For those of you who don't know, the only thing I'm allergic to is kiwi, like artificial kiwi flavor, essentially.
Oh,
And I got hives all over my body.
What a
And
random
they,
thing.
they gave me, I know, so random. They gave me a Benadryl shot, and that thing just, I was like, like, oh, you can't keep your eyes open.
Yeah, that's why people get addicted to like IV Benadryl, stuff like that.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, I used to have
Yeah.
patients like that as an intern. They come and they'd be like, I think I'm in pain, but like maybe you should give me a diphenhydramine IV. And I'm like,
Promethazine.
yeah, I'm like, what? I'm like, you're not having an allergic reaction. Why do you need that? He took a Zyrtec when he was dying.
So I have a question for you guys. Do you guys remember when you were 13?
No.
What grade is that?
7th grade, I think.
7th. I vaguely remember 7th.
I gotta
grade.
be honest, I don't remember like anything from my school
Oh, yeah.
years.
I don't
Like
remember
nothing.
anything ever.
I have the
My
worst
long-term
If
memory.
you were this girl, you would be in medical school at the age of 13, apparently.
Okay, well, I can
Lord.
definitely assure you I wouldn't be smart enough or
Yeah.
mature enough to go to med school at the age of 13.
Yeah, I wasn't mature enough at the age of 24.
How is this even possible?
I
did
don't know.
This
I
kind of
gotta
stuff.
see this. I feel like
I mean, they're just
I feel like I breezed past this. Well, let me see what's going on with this here.
they're just like they're just geniuses. That's what it's. They're just people.
Are they
that
though? Or
Yeah,
is it
I mean,
like
yeah,
let me
because
see.
13-year-olds literally can't do this kind of work. I reached my goals and lived my dreams. She's 13. She's lived barely anything. That's
Wait,
hilarious.
so tell me what happened here. What's going on here?
All right.
Is
So a
it
13-year-old
UAB?
girl has been accepted to a medical school program only a year after graduating high school. So she graduated high school at the age of 13
Okay.
or
No,
12.
12. 6
Oh,
years
wow.
early. Okay.
Okay. I've worked so hard to reach my goals. Mama, I made it. She was accepted into the Burroughs Welcome Scholars Early Assurance Program at the University of Alabama, Hersink School of Medicine.
They changed the name of that?
The
Interesting.
program is a partnership between the medical school and HBCUs across Alabama, and it provides early acceptance to the students who meet the requirements for acceptance and matriculation. So my guess is this is like the medical version of like when the LA Lakers sign a 12-year-old just to like a development deal.
Yeah, but it's
Now-
completely different though.
Well, they're
Because-
committing to like taking them through like a development, like a training program.
So is she starting med school at 13, or is she like in the program to be a
I
med
don't
student?
think so. Let's see.
I mean, come on, like she can't really like a 13-year-old going to like dissect the cadaver and stuff. Like, I don't know. Is that
So in an
legal?
interview with the Washington Post, she said, I'm still a normal 13-year-old. She's currently a student at both Arizona State and Oakwood University. Why do you need to have two separate undergraduate degrees? I have no idea. Not hating on her, but like, why do you need to go to two different schools?
I think you're just a genius.
no hate,
That's
no
what you
hate.
do.
No hate. And then yet, how does she do it at such a young age? I have extremely good time management skills and I'm disciplined.
I don't have a job.
She created the Brown STEM Girl to engage, empower, and educate girls of color in STEM. I think that is a great idea because I'm a
That's
huge
good.
advocate for people going into STEM in general. And let's see, the foundation honors the legacy of Katherine Johnson, a trailblazer for African American mathematicians at NASA. Elena keeps the public updated.
Katherine Johnson, they made that Hidden
So she's
Figures
clearly
movie.
like hyper intelligent, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know if she's actually like attending medical school. Or
Yeah,
if it's just,
that's
like,
what I'm
we're-
curious here.
Like
what-
we're just like, signing you early, and then by time you, I don't know, like
she got
don't-
drafted.
you can't be a doctor at the age of 17, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
I think you can. I mean, there's been people at I think Mount Sinai. Look up the youngest doctor, because I think there were like 16, 17-year-olds at Mount Sinai, or an 18-year-old that graduated medical school or something like that.
I don't think they like practice in a clinic. Like
Manhattan.
they're
I
doing
think
like
they do.
research and stuff like that.
Well, they do research, but I still think they graduated med school. Look that up, Jim.
Like
I
I'm
think
in
when they were
no
like
world
16 or something.
like these people are clearly leaps and bounds more intelligent than me.
Who is the youngest doctor in the United States? New graduate Serena E. Harding, DO. Of course, she's a DO. Is the youngest DO in the
Wait,
nation.
she went to our school.
At 22, she's one of the youngest physicians in the U.S. So that's 22.
One of the youngest.
One of the youngest. So you gotta be you can't. There's no way you can be a teenager and be like legally allowed to practice medicine, right?
Yeah, I can't imagine a 17-year-old can like do. I mean, I guess you got to go through residency and everything, and that's a time
Go down.
requirement. So
Go
it's
down
not
the
like,
5 people who became the youngest doctors ever in the world.
I bet
This probably isn't in the U.S. though.
We got
But one
Dr.
of 'em is.
Bala Murali Ambadi. She was a doctor at 17, an American ophthalmologist.
Oh wow, it is American. So it's at NYU. Yeah, look, Sinai School of Medicine at 17. I knew there was one.
What the hell? Dude, I gotta tell you, I know these people are I'm sorry, I would not let a 17-year-old be my doctor.
I mean, can you imagine how bad they are at financial planning and management?
You think they're worse than us?
At 17, with having no life
don't think
experience
they're,
other
like-
than being in a hospital.
well, they still, so like I said, you can graduate. med
That's
school
quite
at
a, what does
19,
that have to do with anything?
But like, if you're doing neurosurgery, you still have like 8 years left of training, and you can't expedite that part of training.
True.
So it's like you still have the whole residency. So by the time they're actually like a surgeon, or say they're like in their mid-20s, they're clearly smarter than most people that are in med school. Because otherwise, you just don't.
What if they got to like brain surgery fellowship and they're like, look, I usually do things in like a quarter of the time, so you guys are just gonna let me pass in like 3 months, okay? And then we're done.
Yeah, I don't think that flies.
All the chiefs are like, okay, yeah, just do a gerotomy and then we'll pass you.
Yeah.
I mean, the same question though is like, would you want a 13-year-old in your program or a 17-year-old as a neurosurgery resident?
Absolutely not.
You know, I mean,
Just working with a 17-year-old in the hospital as a resident.
can they actually
There's got to
legally
be something to be
practice
said for
medicine?
like
I
having
don't
some
think you can
level of
legally
life
practice
experience.
as a child.
Because like technically they're not even 18. They can't even like sign the employee contract, right?
Right.
I guess they'd get
Child labor
co-signed.
laws. Yeah, yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. Let me see. What is the youngest age you can actually like?
I wonder if those resident work hour limits like apply to them, or if the hospital's like even more careful.
Probably. I mean, they
Or
probably don't
work
let
more
them.
than 60
Yeah.
hours a week.
I can't imagine they're doing like anything other than just like research under someone until they're actually adults, because you literally can't do any of that stuff.
I mean, what is a 13-year-old gonna do in med school? Like, I'm sure she's intelligent. Like, intelligence is only a very small portion of med school, right?
It's more than a small portion.
I don't know. I mean, like, if you're smart enough to go through med school, that's one thing. But like, to be a good, personable, mature physician who works well with colleagues and all that's a lot to ask of a 13-year-old. You know what I mean? Like, having interactions with like 50-year-old men and women in the hospital who have been practicing for 30 years, and like, I mean, that takes maturity. And I don't know, does a 13-year-old have that? You know what I mean? Like, if they're calling a consult and be like, hey doc, I got this patient down here, like, like, I don't know.
Let me ask my mom if she can drive me to the hospital.
Yeah.
I'm sure a boomer plumber is gonna see her and be like, oh yeah, let's I'll give you my full medical history. Let me start from the beginning.
I mean,
Where do I go?
like, people haven't even like have just now.
Hey sweetheart, how old are you? 17? When I was 17, I hadn't even met my wife yet.
I was just thinking, because like, when I started in practice, I mean, I'm over a year in now and people finally know me, but like, even then they didn't trust me. They're like, who's this new guy? Like,
I mean, I don't think they're like running as a 13-year-old. You're not like running clinics where you're like building relationships with patients and stuff like that. I imagine it's more of,
well, maybe you are. If you graduate, if you're 13, you start, you finish at 17, and then you start residency. You can technically be done by 20, be a practicing board certified physician in ER, family med, internal medicine.
I feel like they don't do like, what are those? Go back to that 5, see what they like, what specialties they do.
They did all of them. I think one was an oncologist I saw.
Hold on.
I don't know what the 17-year-old was.
Dr. Show, a neurologist in Chicago. There you go.
Worst city ever.
21.
Why do you choose
Yeah.
this?
Just show you know.
Just show you know.
Oh.
All right. Well,
That's such a bad joke.
At 18 here in the PhD in molecular genetics and cell biology in 2009.
See, like that I understand, like the research stuff, you know. I don't know. I question the maturity.
The integrity.
Yeah. Well, not the integrity, because I know obviously. Well, I wonder if they take
Question
the
your
MCAT stuff.
integrity.
Actually, the MCAT for them is probably like so easy.
oh yeah.
You
That's
know?
see, that's right in the wheelhouse of people like that.
Oh yeah.
Is
Yeah.
like doing stuff like the MCAT, where it's just like it's almost a trivia exam, or like the written
Yeah.
portion. Or I guess they don't.
Oh,
do
She
written
could probably
portion.
take the MCAT right now and just murder it.
Even like step 1 and stuff like that.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
bet her step 1 scores blow.
Yeah.
It's like when I'm
But-
showing B like black and white contrast cards just to like get her to learn how to see things, and it's like they do MCAT questions instead.
right.
Basically.
Yeah.
But I mean, what about the board exam where you have to do like actual patient interaction and stuff? For a
I'm sure- I mean-
17-year-old, I guess you can
those-
learn that, but
Yeah, but that wasn't even that hard. Let's be honest with everyone here.
yeah, true. But well, that's because you're a mature adult who has life experience. Imagine doing that at 15.
I guess, but even those like what I forgot what's the one where you actually have to fake see patients. What's the term for that?
The
board exam?
OSCE or the
What is that?
it's
There's
step 2.
It's first step
something.
2. Ours the DO one's like
forgot.
clinical skills or something like that. CS.
I can't remember.
USMLE version is like
The
what is
physical
it?
exam version. I can't remember what it is.
Dude, I did this.
CS. I think it's just CS.
I was I had a pre-med student, so I was rotating with one of the medical oncologists recently. There's a pre-med student there, and so she's like in undergrad and she's just learning. It's basically like that shadow thing before you apply for med school and take MCAT. And I was talking to her about like she was asking me about like how I chose radiology and all this stuff, and you just go through a whole spiel. I know you're just talking about this, Michael, but she was asking me about something in medicine or like from med school about like applying. And I was like, full disclosure, I was like, I don't remember at all. I was like, that was so long ago. I was like, it was
anything.
10 years ago, 10, 11 years ago that I even
Yeah,
applied
people-
to med school.
People still ask me, they're like, what did you do to like, first of all, I don't even remember my score on the MCAT. Second of all, they're like, what did you
Don't
do
either.
to study for the MCAT? And also the MCAT isn't even the same store.
No, it's
Like,
different.
I don't even know. They're like, it's like a 3-digit store now. I don't even know. Not only do I not know, I don't care to know.
Yeah, no, I couldn't care less. Also, I had a
St-
writing portion on mine, which was there for 2 years, and then they got rid of it. So I just was the lucky year that had the writing portion of it. So that was great.
That's
I had
asinine.
to write 2 essays on my MCAT that were timed. It was there for 2 years. They realized how stupid it was, got rid of it. I was like, good, glad it was on mine.
Yeah, I don't know why. I mean, they keep upping the ante every year just to like. I really don't know why. It has
Those are just,
nothing
like,
to do with it.
math
I
stuff.
hate the MCAT. I hate
It's so
tests like
stupid.
that, and I hate anything to add on. The MCAT's like 8 hours long or something now too.
Oh, it's aggressively long, dude. I
I mean, the fact-
remember my my like writing portion, not the writing, but what's the reading portion or whatever.
The
I
reading
didn't-
comprehension.
reading comprehension portion. It was like
Not writing. What's the other thing that you do?
with
Read.
words.
Read.
Well, there's the specific term or whatever it is, but I remember it was 2 pages, this super long, like 6 paragraphs of this complex thing about like some sort of vague part in American history, like colonialism, and you have to answer questions on it. And they're like, this is how you test reading comprehension. I'm like, how in the world is this even remotely going to be like a good indicator if I'm going to be a good doctor?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like that makes 0 sense whatsoever. They'll be
I
like,
had like a poem excerpt
yeah.
in one of mine. I'm like,
They're like, what is the theme of
Okay.
this? I was like, how?
Yeah.
I was like, what? I
who's
don't
the
know.
protagonist?
Yeah. I'm like,
Did
who
you have to
gives a
take a
shit?
GRE?
No,
No.
I didn't think so.
It
just the
was
MCAT.
so stupid. I remember being like, as I was doing the test, I was like, dude, I don't know, man. It turns out I'm fine at being a doctor and I can pass all the other board exams that are related to things I actually can study versus just arbitrary stuff.
Yeah, I
Anyone
know.
out there who's going to say, well, I did great on my reading, shut up. No one cares.
Yeah,
It's like
I scored
Lawson. He
well
did
on
well
my
on that. I'm
reading
like,
comprehension.
no, get out of here,
Yeah.
Lawson.
Yeah, I did well in my reading comprehension. You know what? We're not gonna be friends.
Yeah. Just know I'm gonna make fun of you now.
I'm
on
only
the
friends with people that do bad on reading
Yeah.
comprehension
Here,
studies.
when we go to Croatia and Lawson's there, let's just make fun of him for the reading portion of the exam.
Deal.
I'm like,
Deal.
oh, cool. Oh,
Yeah.
Lawson.
Deal.
Yeah. Just ripping into him the whole time.
Which is in 4 weeks, by the way. So Jim, yeah. So we'll change topics a little bit. So you come this weekend. Next weekend, we're going to visit Tommy in Chicago. Who just
Oh,
booked
are
a
you
flight
really?
randomly. And
Hey.
somehow I
This is
forgot
your
we had
bedroom,
all these
Michael.
points. Oh, I know. I can't wait. We had all these points from COVID stuff still. And when they canceled our Paris flight. So we used all those, going to see Tommy. And then 3 weeks after that, we're going to Hrvatska.
Jimmy, you jealous of that?
Yeah.
I mean,
I
like,
am
if he
jealous
says
of that.
no, I swear. How can you not be jealous of going on a boat in the middle of the Adriatic?
I don't want to admit it.
I mean, how stupid.
You got a busy couple weeks there, Michael.
I know. So, and I'll be working all the way up into it because, we take 2 weeks vacation back to back. You got to pay for it.
Yeah, that's rough.
And you pay
Is that why
for
you're
it
working so much right now?
with work. Yeah.
Yeah.
So usually I get some time off, but again, we're down a man and I'm trying to do a 2 week vacation back to back. So,
Oh,
you know,
God.
got to pay the dues,
That's the one unfortunate part about your schedule is having to, like, not being able to do a 2-weeker. It's like,
I know.
yeah, it's nice
I
you
mean,
get
you
all the like,
can.
single week. Yeah, it's just, I guess it's not
Just-
that bad because
It's actually
most
not
people
bad.
work 6 weeks in a row and we're like,
Yeah.
whoo,
I
could
know.
possibly do that.
That's what I was thinking the other day. I was like, this month, I was like, God, I have to work like 4 weeks in a row. And then I have this weekend off. And then I'm like, I have to work another 4 weeks in a row. And I'm
Ugh.
like, to get a 2 week vacation. And then I'm like, then finally I'm back to my usual schedule. But then I'm like, but I used to get like 4 weeks of vacation my whole life until
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
So I
I
mean,
go-
it's not,
There's
I
parts
would
of
work like-
residency I go 6 months in a row and I don't have.
Yeah.
I'm like, God, give me a vacation.
yeah, I didn't, whatever. I just don't
I
realize
think about
it
this all the
anymore.
time at work because this month I have to work 3 days in a row during the week. Like, so I have to work Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And like by the third
Surprise.
day in a row, I'm like, oh God, this is so tired. I'm like so dead by like day 3.
3 days.
And I think about how I used to have like one weekend a month off.
Yeah.
Just working nonstop.
How did I do
Yeah.
that?
You had no choice.
Hey, you just
I know. If you said no, they were like, okay, well, bye.
Well, the problem
Yeah.
is it just disappear. You basically like start working all that time, and then all of a sudden 4 months later, you're like, oh my God, did I do anything the last 4 months? And you're like, no, I just worked and like did a couple things on the weekend, and that's about it.
Have to work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Nothing like
It's-
watching your years just disappear into your 20s.
Yeah. The days are long and the
Sweet.
years are short.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's good.
Yeah.
They, dude, I remember I don't you probably experienced this too, but like seeing all my friends having like weddings I couldn't go to and like all sorts of things I had to miss because I was like I literally have no money to fly anywhere. Like
Yeah, it was
I
awesome.
couldn't- What's that?
But yeah, it was awesome.
Yeah. Freaking-
Yeah. I love missing out on everything. And you know what really bothered me? I'll never forget. Because when I was my first and second year of med school, I was in the library just studying away. And that was when Facebook was like really popular. This was like when Instagram was like not even really popular yet, which
Like
is a good thing because
2012?
because I feel like no, it's 2015. It was like popular, but it wasn't like it is now. And like people didn't like obsess over it, and people didn't really spend all their time on it like they do now. But it was just around. It just happened to be there. And but Facebook was still popular. And I remember just studying, and then like, you study for like 20 minutes, you pull up Facebook, and then people are just like out on boats for like Memorial Day and like
Yeah.
Yeah.
having fun and like posting all these pictures. And I'm like sitting here grinding a physiology book. I'm like, what have I done?
I know.
And they're all like,
Dude.
hey, you want to come out for July 4th weekend on the boat? I'm like, no.
I got a test on Monday. I got to study
Yeah.
for.
Dude,
Like,
can't you
the
ever come out?
the first year of my residency was literally the darkest time of my life, I think. Like I remember like being in month 2 and literally just like running out of money, like being to where like the 2 months thus far that I had started, I'm just losing money. Like I'm just dipping into my savings. And I'm like, well, I guess I have to make this last for 3 more years.
Yeah.
And I
it's
remember
exciting.
I remember feeling like I was the only person in the entire state of New Mexico. Like I would get home from work and I would just fall asleep and might crash into my bed with Bernie in my tiny little apartment that was like $600 a month. And like
Yeah,
I would
that's
sit
cheap.
there with Bernie and be like I think I'm just like wasting my life. Like I think like I don't even know what I'm doing right now.
So
Like
people,
you can't like there's no end in sight. Like you're just like,
yeah, I know. You grab on the little things.
oh
That's
my
why.
God.
That's why I used to always book vacations, because I would literally, those like little week vacations I would do wherever I would go, I would just like hold on to those. Like once I get to that, it'll be fun. You're just like constantly. I would always have to have something planned, because if I didn't, I would just like fall into a rut. But if I had like, oh, I'm going to the beach in 6 months, then I'd be like, okay, you got to maintain the gym because you're gonna be in a bathing suit. You got to like look forward to this. Like,
oh, is that a thing?
yeah.
Okay. I wasn't sure.
It's funny. One of my PAs that I worked with, she's well, not anymore. I used to. She goes, when I was one day, what was like 2 months ago, and I was trying to lose a few lbs for the summer months. Just we're going to Croatia,
Yeah.
and I was like, she was like, "Do you want a cookie? Do you want a cookie?" I'm like, "No, I gotta work on my summer bod." And she goes, "Dr. Cellini, it's 2022. Every bod is a summer bod." And I was like, that's such a Gen Z like thing to say, but it's actually, I mean, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's hilarious.
Not in
Give me
my
that cookie.
we had a didactic a couple weeks ago, and the person giving the lecture brought donuts, like Stan's Donuts is a really good donut shop here, and it took everything in my power not to eat those. I was like, dude, this is how you put on weight at work, is people bring in, especially in like breast imaging. It's like, dude, for some reason it's like this outpatient clinic basically, and every day is a like someone's birthday, a text doing this, a retirement this, and it's like there are cookies and candy in the break in like the nutrition room where the water and stuff is, literally every day. And they'll do like mocktails and stuff like that where it's just like juice, like
Sugar.
yeah, it's like just sugary drinks. And I'm like, dude, I cannot. It takes everything in my power not to do it, because that's like, oh, that will kill you.
Yeah, it's constant. The hospital is constant sweets, and I love sweets.
Oh, there's nothing better than a donut.
Love sweets.
What's
You
your
know what
what's your favorite candy?
Probably like Sour Patch Kids. Well, it depends.
Ugh.
If you're talking
You like that
chocolate, or you
route?
talking like, well, yeah, it depends. There's not a candy I don't like.
I'm sure there is.
Never
But I
been a
mean,
candy.
I mean, I don't like
Three
what are those-
Musketeers,
Yeah, that's garbage.
Milky
Like
Way.
Milky, those are garbage. But like, I'll eat them, but they're garbage.
I don't know why they're still mass produced.
I'll eat a bar, but
I can't. I've never in my life met someone who like goes to the convenience store, the gas station, is like, I want a Milky Way.
Yeah, I've never
Even
seen it.
like the packaging looks gross.
Yeah, who wants a Milky Way? Like how has that not been discontinued?
Yeah, I liked them as a kid. I used to, Lost Mountain, I get a Milky Way.
Yeah, you used to like Three Musketeers, didn't you?
Yeah, I love Three
I
Musketeers.
mean, worst candy bar.
Oh, it's they're
Ugh.
they're so boring now.
I mean, that
It's-
over a Butterfinger or like Snickers, get out of here.
yeah, I mean Snickers is next, or just
Also-
straight up chocolate.
I had my
Kit
my
Kat?
friend Matt, who you'll meet, Jim.
Mhm.
Matt used to always, who we're playing golf with, he's my colleague. He would always get a Snickers in fellowship. I'd be like, Snickers, like, what are you, 5? I used to
are
make
good,
fun of
man.
him so much.
Dude, it's funny. You see someone with a normal size candy bar, and you're like, where'd you get that?
I know. I'm like,
you buy that?
I honestly, I think the last time I bought a candy bar had to have been when I was like 12. Like, I can't even remember.
Like the,
I haven't even,
the
like-
big ones, right?
Yeah, like a candy bar. I've never bought a candy bar as an adult.
They always leak around during Halloween. We'll have a bunch, like Caitlin will
Yeah.
have to do some for her accounts, and we'll have like the tiny fun size ones.
Yeah, the fun size ones for sure. I've
Yeah,
never bought them, but I've eaten them.
Yeah, no, I've never unless it's for like Caitlin will buy them at Costco for like her accounts and stuff. But yeah, I've never personally bought one for my own consumption.
I mean, have you ever sat down and just eaten a candy bar, like a full sized candy bar?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. You kidding?
I mean, those Snickers, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just not used
It's
to
just
the
200
sweetness.
calories. It's not like a
No, it's not
double
bad. I'm just
cheeseburger.
saying, but it's just
It's
like
more than 200, right?
it's
no.
a
Snickers
full
bar is like 220.
No,
Like a full one? No way.
A regular
way.
Snickers bar.
Look it up. I want to know
I will
how
look it up.
a big size Well, then they have like the foot long
Are
ones.
you wait? Are you talking big size or a regular Snickers bar?
Like the one that's like 7 inches long or whatever.
Well, they're not 7 inches long.
What are they? 6?
They're 250.
Hold on,
Look
now
at
I got to look up the dimensions of a Snickers bar. They're 215 calories. A regular.
No
Snickers.
way. That's a.
I
what
got
is it,
250.
1.5. I can't believe it's so little. I thought it was like 600.
Now this says a normal Snickers bar contains 280.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
actually
fine.
very surprised by that.
Does Hershey have like it's Hershey, right?
I think Mars doesn't Mars
Mars.
own like
But, I mean,
everything?
it says it on the bar. Oh yeah, it
Yeah.
says on the bar. Apparently, it's 280 on the bar.
That's
Dang.
actually shocking. I thought it was like
That's not as high as I mean, there's so
600.
much sugar in there. 27 grams of
Yeah.
sugar. Oof.
it's a lot of sugar, 36
Hey,
grams. But
Yeah, I mean, it's just fat and sugar, but
yeah, it's just pure not good for you calories.
Now,
You-
this
you
is
know
my
what's fun-
favorite.
oh, dude, Butterfingers,
Butterfingers.
man.
Butterfingers are.
That's the
How
heat.
can anybody get
Look at that. They're
Eight.
they're healthier. 250. That's
Healthy.
it.
health?
They're good for
Imagine eating a Three Musketeers bar over like a Butterfinger.
Also,
No,
apparently, you
never.
can get 288 Butterfingers for $339.
It seems
I mean,
pricey.
who would do that? What is that for? Like a baseball game?
This is for gas stations and stuff like that.
That doesn't
Yeah,
sound like
true.
a good deal at all.
We sell
you
them
know
for
what?
$3.
You know, so mom is the captain of buying junk food on a road trip. She was up here like a month or
Yeah.
so ago. And she bought the king size Reese's cups. So there's like 4 Reese's cups in them. And which
Sort
cracked
of
me
those.
up. Yeah, they're so good. But cracked me up because I was like, first of all, I was like, Mom, why did you buy the king size one versus just like a normal 2-pack? And I was like, whatever. But I was eating them like as a pre-workout, basically. I would get home from work. I don't want to have a meal to go work out.
pre-workout.
No, it's they're like
Guys
one of
eat
the
a
cups.
candy bar for a pre-workout.
I know.
Well,
the
the-
guy
one of
acts like he's doing the Iron Man.
Well, the thing is, I can't throw any. I was doing a marathon. Well, I can't throw them
Pre-workout.
out because I can't, in good conscience, throw out any sort of food. So I'm like, I guess it's just I have to eat it at some point. But like,
Yeah.
you get home from work and you haven't eaten, but I don't want a big meal because my acid reflux is so bad. I'm gonna vomit in the middle of my workout. So I had a Reese's cup, and it's literally just like it's the same as any
Times
pre-workout.
85.
Yeah, it's just 150 calories of like sugar. I went to go do a pre-workout. I felt great after.
You eat
it.
185 calories for a pre-workout? I don't.
Well, I mean,
see,
yeah,
this is
I
why I work
factored
out in the
into-
morning. For that
yeah,
reason.
I factor it into my. I mean, I don't think it really changes that much. I mean, it
No,
factors
you work
into
out in
my
the morning,
calorie-
bro. Work out in the morning on a fasting workout in the morning.
By the way, Michael, we're going to Alpha Fit when I come there Saturday morning before golf.
Damn
Did you
straight.
make your reservation 6 months ago?
Yeah, apparently it's
2
one of those
weeks.
gyms that you have to like go through the app and reserve 3 weeks in advance for a Saturday
mean,
morning
look,
class.
You got to
mean,
bid on being
This is
able
why
to
I
go.
can't do. This is why I can't do like modern.
let me
day
ask you
gyms and
this:
stuff like that.
if it
It's
was a
too-
bad
it's too much.
class, if it was a bad class, you could reserve it 5 minutes before. But it's not a bad class, so people are trying to reserve those spots because they're coveted and people want to go.
Coveted.
I mean,
Coveted.
it's a highly sought after class.
I have to. I don't know when I can
Don't
work out.
covet
that
thy
far.
neighbor's gym class.
Do what?
He goes, don't
Don't-
covet thy neighbor's gym
Don't
class.
covet thy neighbor's gym class.
So stupid.
So dumb. 10 Commandment reference.
Alien coveted.
I mean,
Covet
wasn't
thy
even funny.
neighbor's. I know it's just so
Anyways.
stupid.
you'll have fun though.
No, I mean I'm gonna get destroyed and be urinating pure myoglobin once I get done. But what are you gonna do?
I mean, I'm not gonna.
I'll be like,
I'll
hey,
probably-
spin that down, see if it forms a sediment.
Yeah, I'll probably go like 80% because we have to play golf in the heat. So
Michael, every time I've ever worked out with Michael, he always likes to like let everybody know that he's going 70 to 80%.
He qualifies
Yeah,
as
every
working.
time.
I,
He
I like to
never-
sneak up on you.
He
So then I'll
never-
bust out
he-
I'll bust
he
out 100.
always has to qualify it. Like,
Yeah.
guys, I just so you know, whatever I do here, it's not me emptying the tank. So
No, I'm
Yeah.
qualifying that. Well, like this week, I went Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Tuesday. What did I do Tuesday? Tuesday, I sort of emptied the tank. Wednesday, I completely emptied the tank and I couldn't even freaking walk. And then today, I was probably like 85-ish. I can't empty the tank every workout. I mean, I'm not 20.
You know what used to limit me? This is going to sound like a Michael excuse. But when I used to do CrossFit in Albuquerque, the air was so dry that the back of my like oropharynx would get like dried out and I would get like like mucus accumulating,
Oh,
like
yeah.
dry mouth. And I would start dry heaving because I was having a gag reflex on it.
Yeah.
And like halfway through a workout, I would just be sitting there doing ah like that.
Okay.
And everybody
Be a
was like,
dog?
well, there goes. Everybody was like, Jim throws up every workout. I'm like, I'm really not nauseous. It's just I'm literally just getting like a gag reflex.
Do you drink water?
I get that too when you're starting to pant so hard that your mouth is like as open
Yeah.
as possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what it is too, though, is a lot of it is like if you go so hard, like on Wednesday we did like a testing station, and like we got there a little late, so we had to do the ski machine, you know, like the overhead like skis. Like that was our testing, and we had to do 100%. Problem is that was our first station, so we like emptied the tank on that, and then if I do that and you're breathing so hard, then you just build up like mucus because your lungs are just overworking, you know, and then you start I just like coughing. So maybe
Just
that's part of your gag.
Tearing up the alveoli and you're
Yeah.
just from breathing so hard.
Michael gets real close to that like CrossFit gym cult sort of thing that he used to make fun of all the time.
Me? No, not even remotely close.
You're getting a little close.
Nope.
Yeah.
I only
Yeah.
like it because I told you it's the only thing that has ever beat my ass down, almost like I was an athlete. And I feel like workouts, like to
It doesn't
me,
seem as like lifting as like CrossFit though.
no, it's more cardio stuff. It's like
Yeah.
stations and
I.e.,
cardio.
it's safer.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's what. Yeah.
But also, you know, again, I don't need to be lifting, 800-pound deadlifts.
You don't want to do 225-pound barbell snatches.
It's all about
for
cardiovascular.
700.
Dude, I
Cardiovascular
saw-
now.
When I did CrossFit like hard for about 2 years in Albuquerque, I
Loser.
saw a lot of people mess up their tendons and their joints, like from
Yeah,
like
you don't need
major-
to do that. You don't need to
major
do that.
injuries. Like they
Oh.
would do these these like pretend like not regionals, but like something that you like had to qualify for regionals, as they called it, which still means nothing because if you're not Rich Froning, you're not going anywhere.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So
Hey, coworkers, I qualified
I
for the
remember-
regionals. Don't care.
you're
Yeah.
right. This
Whatever that means.
this one guy was like, they were
You get
trying to do,
paid?
and they always have like,
Yeah,
you know, when
right.
you get like one level up from above like your routine gym, the workout scales, and that's all you need to like really injure yourself. So first of all, there was a guy named Kevin Odar who was in Colorado, and he was trying to do the heavy snatch for reps, and he dropped the bar on his traps, and the force went down his spine and shot out and subluxated his L4-5,
Jesus.
and he's a paraplegic
Sheesh.
unbelievable.
at a CrossFit competition. Another an older woman suffered a C1-2 subluxation trying to do handstand push-ups around the
Fell on
same
her
time.
head?
I mean,
Yeah, she fell flat down on her head and her C1-2 subluxated.
Wow.
oh,
I don't know how she ended up, but she was like in intensive care for weeks. after that.
yeah, I would
And-
say so.
And
Oh,
I knew at my gym, I saw a person tear their ACL, another person at some like local whatever go, crush the box, sort of like competitions or whatever the hell they call them.
I hate that
um,
stuff.
They were like, yeah, I got to the gym I didn't go because I was busy, working because I had an actual job. So I get back to the gym on Monday. This guy's like got his entire arm like this, like padded up, and like, I'm like, what happened to you? And they go, his elbow deformed when he was trying an overhead squat back. So I'm like, so you dislocated your elbow on
Oh,
Saturday?
It deformed.
It's
They go, it
deformed.
deformed, and he had to withdraw from competition.
You know, it just deformed.
You guys know this is not an actual thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
so
you'll
bad for your back.
you'll see it's not like that at all. And that's the reason why I like it so much, because it's cardio based,
Yeah.
but it's like it's tricky. It's like tricky.
I don't know how CrossFit hasn't been sued into oblivion.
Yeah.
I
Well,
hope.
they make
you
you
sign
sign a waiver.
waivers. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all the waivers in the
guess.
gym.
The old
You know,
waiver
you're-
at the beginning.
But
I mean, I saw so many new people come in and just completely, going to fit. We're talking about doing like an Olympic lift, like a snatch.
Well,
I did it
every
too.
single workout every day is to failure.
to failure. I mean,
That's
not
the
even to
idea.
failure, to like to the point to where you do it, like the drama of collapsing on the ground. That's
part
actually
of it.
not dramatic. Like you're actually like in a mental state where you empty the tank truly to that degree.
Yeah.
yeah.
Also, the weights that they make you do are so heavy that it's like any sort of mistake is an enormous consequence.
I got another good story, Michael. I think you'll especially like this because it corresponds to like swimming tryhards. So these two girls.
I
We
love
had
tryhards.
a. You
like
met one of the coaches, Whitney, who was an actual CrossFit Games athlete, right?
And a doctor.
And she's now a doctor. Like she's like, a very legit athlete and human being. Everybody below Whitney was like Joe Schmo, right? So we're
A
doing
weekender.
right. And so
Me.
I forget what year it was,
Yeah.
but these two girls, there's like a team, or Jim's trying to put a team into the regional competition. And these two girls were like tied. They're like, they went through some workouts and they're basically tied with the scoring system. So the guy that owned the gym had to come up with a tiebreaker on the spot. And he goes, okay, back squat 185 for reps. Whoever fails first is the loser, and the winner just to be on the team.
Oh,
Like he literally just like
God.
on the spot was like, do this. So these two girls,
I do like 1 rep.
they get a barbell out. and
After
they-
all that
they-
workout?
It was at the end of like a 2-day trial or something like that, where you had to like accumulate points. So these two girls get the bars out. They put 185 on the bar and they start squatting. And I forget how many reps they got to, but one girl edged out the other one who had to, just stop. And then the girl starts like crying convulsively as if she just lost, like, she just tripped on the starting line at the Olympics or something. Like, just
Yeah, I mean,
like
this isn't the world record.
literally she put the bar back up after having to go to failure, and she just sat there and started crying on the ground. And I was like, how can you be this upset about what just happened to you?
It's a hobby.
Well, I mean, it's a hobby. That's what
Relax.
I looked at this as. Like, some of my coaches do that.
Have you
stuff.
never gotten beat before?
I know. That's why you
get beat
that's
all the
why-
time and everything.
That's why I think you'll
I've
like.
never won.
That's why I think you'll like it, Jim, because it's not like that culty vibe, and it's kind of like you get whatever you want out of it. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, you
I
know what?
could-
It better be.
I could go in there and do like 50% if I wanted to, but I want to like, burn
Ooh,
some
that
calories.
sounds nice. I think I'll do that and get an iced coffee afterwards.
You absolutely can. Like, there's no one's gonna like force you to do anything. I mean, now they do because they know me, and they'll be like, go a little harder if they see I'm slacking off a little bit, which is fine with me.
Right.
But it's not like
So can you run through like because you'll do things like you'll push a sled, you'll do like the assault bike, and you'll do
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Tabata or like superset stuff, where like
It's low impact, high intensity shit is what he's doing.
Yeah,
right
100%.
you-
Heart rate's
you're doing
always
like
high.
a ton of like hit training, but you're not like throwing around weights or like anything like that, right, Michael?
most
No.
weight we ever do is like, I mean, today one of the stations for 6 minute was like bench press and what was the other part? Bench press and I forget what the other dumbbell exercise.
The
There's like a
key
dumbbell
here
station.
is don't try to throw a ton of weight over your head.
Yeah.
But also, if you throw a ton of weight over your head, you're not going to be able to do the other 5 stations. Like, you're
Right.
going to be toast. You can't
Right.
run. You can't like, do your heart rate to 180 after lifting like to failure. It's impossible. Like
Right.
if you do squats and then you go jump on the steel mill to try to run, like you're not going to go anywhere.
Mm.
So I mean, it's just
I'm
makes
well
sense.
aware. I'm not going to
Yeah.
go anywhere regardless.
But you're not doing like do pull-ups for time over
No
the course
pull-ups.
of yeah.
no pull-ups.
I love
No.
a good pull-up.
No.
Butterfly pull-ups.
Yeah,
Pull-ups.
it's all just
Hey guys,
it's-
I can do 100 pull-ups.
Yeah. We were talking about that the other day with Steve at our gym.
Yeah.
Steve is like
Shout out,
my-
Steve.
Yeah, Steve's the best. He's the trainer at he basically programs all my training and stuff like that. But he used to be at the gym that Jim and I were a part of. And
Jim.
we were right. We were talking about that, how we're like all these people do these butterfly and kipping pull-ups, and they're like, yeah, 50, or like we're like, no one can do just like 60 pull-ups. Like what are you talking about? You can't do that.
I know.
Yeah,
They're
60
like
kipping
Olympic
pull-ups.
gymnasts. Well, like, I think we've covered this in like the first episode, but isn't like the world record pull-ups like 75 or something like that?
Yeah. Something like that.
Yeah, and
Or
strict
it's-
pull-ups.
Yeah, whatever. But it's like no one who's just like either average gym goer can crank out 30 pull-ups. Like it's nothing.
Right.
Like that's not a thing.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So what else
So,
we want to talk about, Jim? We got a few more minutes left.
So
And
the
we're
US
back. Tommy, you can present this information.
So the US News every year they pop out a piece of information. Michael knows a little more about the specifics of it, but they basically rank the hospitals in the country, and so they rank them on like certain specialties, patient satisfaction, nursing, like outcomes, things like that.
Physician survey,
Yes, physician survey.
whatever
And
that
so
means.
yeah, seriously.
No better study methodology than a survey.
Yeah, but it's like this, like it's not a standard, but it's everyone looks at it as like, oh, what are the best hospitals in the country? It's always like Harvard's in there and all this stuff, and all these hospitals pump it out. And so I just wanted to talk to you guys about. I personally think this is ridiculous that they would put out a list of like the best hospitals because, like, are there better hospitals than not? Yes. Does it really matter? Are you going to get bad healthcare at a like hospital that's 50 versus number 2? Like, no, you're not going to get worse healthcare. Like, what are we talking about here? But I will pop open the list. Let me do this share.
Yeah, basically they put this list out every year because, like, well, one, who the hell even reads the U.S. News and World Report? It's an antiquated, like,
I know.
I think it used to be a magazine or something,
Yeah, it was a little
newspaper or
pamphlet.
something. And so no one reads it, and this is their thing. They do medical school ranking, they do law school rankings, and they do ranking. They rank hospitals. So they do this, and then people like, yeah, we're the number one hospital in the nation, like based off create weird metrics that they pump out, and that Tommy
Yeah.
mentioned a little bit of. And then it's basically it's a marketing ploy for US News and World Report to sell subscriptions or sell pamphlets or whatever the heck they're selling. It's a way to get eyes on their website, get some advertisement dollars. That's why they do it. Because it's always about money. And then two, it's for these hospitals to then market themselves as the number one hospital or the number 2 hospital, ranked top 10 hospital US News and World Report. So maybe patients will be like, oh, maybe that's a good hospital. Maybe I should transfer all my care there.
And they put up giant banners and they send out 300 emails saying like, we rank this and X and X news and all this stuff. And I know I'm still in training, so I'm still at an academic place. And it's like, we get emails and they're like, oh, we're ranked this in US News. It's like, okay, guys, like, relax. I don't think
like
this
it doesn't actually mean anything, right?
No, it doesn't mean anything. It's just
a lot of people are like, yeah, they're like, we trained at the top hospital on US News and World Report. Okay, what if I just put out a list? We train at the top Michael's top hospital, Michael's favorite hospital of the country. Like, it doesn't make any sense. It means nothing.
You should do a YouTube video called "My Favorite Hospitals."
Yeah. What if I just rank random like community hospitals?
Yeah.
So my top 5 hospitals.
The best part about it is that number 5, Johns Hopkins and UCLA tied somehow.
Dude, thank you. I'm glad you said. I was like, well, what are we even talking about? You tied?
Oh my God, I didn't even notice that.
How stupid.
Nothing says
is that?
legitimate about tying a fake honor roll hospital ranking
for
system.
5th. Because
like,
God
what?
forbid, like, you just flip a coin. Who cares? What does it matter?
Yeah.
It's just such a pretentious thing. Like, academic medicine has this very pretentious. Are there phenomenal? Are these good hospitals? Are there really good research institutions? Of course, but like, it's just such a like. It's very pretentious to like say you're a top 10 place and then put out information on it. It's like a weird. I don't know. It shouldn't be how medicine works, where it's like you're trying to prove how much better the places you're at than other places. I was like, that hurts more than it helps, because it implies that like this place down the road from you is in a top tier hospital. It's like, dude, there are like good doctors doing good things there. What are we talking
about?
If you're at Stanford, are you going to be like, well, I'm at the 10th best hospital?
Yeah. Maybe I should go to Mass General.
I should try to go to Northwestern and move up the ranks.
Yeah, right. I'm going to fly from California. I'm going to fly to Chicago just so I can get one spot higher on the ranking and then go from there.
Yeah, but I mean, and then again, you have to also take like, so part of the way they ranked this was
look at these Rush.
There you go.
Oh, there you go.
Got to
Northwestern. Wow.
Yeah, look at that.
So you have to think though too, is so like the physician surveys are part of this ranking system. So and the physicians at these hospitals are biased because they want their academic institutions to be top tier hospitals because it makes them look better and it makes their resume look better. So it just perpetuates this stuff. And then a lot of it is based off like patient outcomes, like, you know, I mean, that stuff can be skewed too, you know. I don't know. It's such a weird thing. Take it with a grain of salt.
I know. I think it like gets in the head of patients too, where patients, like we were talking about just a second ago, where patients are like, well, it opens up room for them to be like, well, do you know what you're talking about? This is only the 45th ranked hospital. And like questioning, I don't know, question your acumen. It's like people train all over and they get good training. There's a standard of care. and it's like
Yeah.
it's just so
The-
ridiculous.
The other thing that parlays nicely with this is someone tweeted out the other day that basically it was a beautiful tweet by a community hospital doctor. I don't know where, but basically was saying that just because I'm a community doctor and don't work at a large academic institution like one of these quote unquote best hospitals per US News and World Report doesn't mean I'm offering substandard care or doesn't mean I'm any less smart than you that is working at one of these big institutions.
Right.
And I totally agree because this is what further divides the academic, the large institutions who also have endless money, by the way,
Endless.
compared
Endless money.
to compared
can't
to
stress
other
that enough.
doctors working with I mean way less resources
Oh.
than these big institutions who are donated hundreds of millions of dollars and have hundreds of millions of dollars in grant money coming in every year compared to other smaller hospitals that most doctors are working at in the US. So this kind of further divides the big academic institutions from like everybody else as well. So it's just not a good look.
Yeah,
Honestly.
it's more harmful. I can't stress what you said about the money. I can't stress enough how much money some of these giant places have
Yeah.
versus the community hospital down the road that has $0 coming in. And they're
What is their top line revenues for like a year for like some of these places?
I know where I was
What do
at.
you
I
think?
mean, it's in hundreds of millions of dollars. I
Yeah.
think it's
Oh,
yeah. A lot of those big institutions, and they're also getting a ton of money from like the grants, the research. They make so much money
Dude, they make
from grants
so
and
much
research and donations too. I mean, you gotta realize like in NYU, for example, like Tish or in Sinai,
Tish?
the icon, Carl Icahn donated. I mean, these are all billionaires who just
Yeah.
donate to have their name on the med school or whatever.
like Robert H. Lurie. He's the big guy in Chicago that donated like Lurie's Children's Hospital, like the research
Yeah.
center at Northwestern. He did everything. Like all at my place at Rush, all that stuff. They're building a $400 million cancer clinic and all these things. It's like you don't just build a $400 million cancer clinic without having a lot of money coming in.
So I don't know. I feel like this ranked list just puts a further divide amongst academic powerhouses compared to everybody else.
Yeah.
And then it makes by default, it makes the physicians not working at these hospitals seem inferior to the average patient,
Right.
which is not a good look.
No,
So-
this is really stupid.
Very
I remember in vet school, I went to vet school at the University of Georgia, and it was in the top 10 of vet schools every year I was there. And then I think it was like number 5. And then the last year they dropped from 5 to 8 or something like that.
Yeah.
And the reason they dropped was because the cardiologist that left and retired was replaced by a younger new guy who didn't have like 30 years worth of work behind him. And meanwhile, the guy that retired was the biggest asshole on the planet.
Yeah. It's stuff like
And
that.
I'm telling you, this guy is in the top 10 US News list of assholes. Like this guy would treat people like shit. He would literally tell owners to just like stop talking. He was like the most awkward dude to talk to. You couldn't even get a straight. He was one of those guys that like, I don't know if you ever run into these clinical instructors where you try to ask them a question as a student and they
Yeah.
can't be bothered. And so they don't even give you a straight answer because they give you this like they try to just like roundabout, try to get you to like go away. And like,
Yeah.
just like, they don't even tell you what you're asking them.
Do you know who you're talking to? I
Yeah,
wrote
yeah.
20 papers last year.
I'd be like, oh, they literally don't care.
I remember thinking like, shouldn't the opposite have happened? We should have gone up by losing this guy. But
Yeah. Yeah, no, it does such a harm to, I think, although like any place that's not ranked on the list, all those people and the physicians that work there work their butt off with like not a ton of funding and all that stuff. And it's just like, it's such
Also,
a ridiculous thing.
What people also don't realize is that I used to work at one of these big institutions on that list prior to going to med school. And the amount of money in jobs and people that they hired to ensure that a lot of these milestones were met in order to move up on this list, like that was part of the hospital's like expenses.
Yeah.
They hired people to help them win,
Yeah.
essentially,
Yeah.
to get on this list.
They
So,
hire like
again-
analytics companies and like consultants to
Yeah.
figure out how to streamline their services and outcomes and,
Correct.
you know, earnings reports and stuff like equivalent stuff like that to to do this. Like that's
Yeah.
the goal.
That is their job. Like that, they have so much expendable income, and their goal is to move up on this faked list that means nothing.
Yeah.
But to people outside of medicine, it makes them look better. But they literally have this huge support system to do so that smaller hospitals who don't have the resources and obviously the funding
Yeah.
don't have that. I
It's
mean,
ridiculous.
yeah,
Right.
that's what people don't realize though. And when these reports came out, because I used to work in these departments and with a lot of these people, like when you moved up from like 12th to 10th, there were like massive emails and like everyone was like pumped because they worked so hard the whole year to make sure the analytics were on point to move up the list. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're probably
Random.
they're getting bonuses. Probably.
Yeah, of course.
It's
Like,
like,
yo, if
it's
you
like when
move
an NCAA football coach's team makes the college playoff.
yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same thing how these like big banks make more money because they have more people with more money investing in them, and it's like the same thing. So this is why these lists mean nothing.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Don't pay attention to these lists. I mean, there's
Yeah,
so
but
many.
meanwhile-
I'm pro community hospital at all aspects of it. I love every community hospital I've ever worked in or been a part. Like, I feel like it's such an awesome place and like such a
Yeah.
better environment.
Yeah.
100% agree.
I'm thinking about like the doctor who's out in the middle of nowhere on a hospital you've never heard of, reading this and being like, yeah, if I had a $50 million robotic arm to do the surgery for me, I bet you I could be in the top 10 US
Yeah,
News World Report too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, they're probably like
I got to
You know,
use
like-
my hands.
the IR doctors in these smaller community places, like you're saying, Podunk, wherever.
yeah.
They're like, well, you can only have one catheter, and if you drop this on the ground, that's it, because they're
Yeah.
$200 a piece. Whereas like
Oh my god.
where I trained at a big academic place, I mean, you go through $100, $300 on the floor, on the floor, on the floor.
Oh yeah.
Next. It's just that
Dude,
it's not an object.
They'll open up 10 grand like devices and be like, never mind, I don't want to use that.
Yeah,
And it's like, oh, they literally will open stuff that's 10 to 50 grand, not
Yeah.
even use it, and it's like, oh, whoops, and just dump it on the ground. And it's like,
Yeah, I mean, we've
goes in the
literally
trash.
like in training, I've seen people like drop $10,000 stents on the floor like twice in a row. It'd be like,
do
give me
we
another
have-
one.
We have
Oh
stuff
my
like
god.
there's things you can do biopsies with that are like, like the standard, just like biopsy guns that you can use, Michael.
Yeah,
It's like there's vacuum assisted handheld ones that like cost a few $1,000s to use, and people will use that instead of the thing that costs like $20, and it saves you like 2 minutes. It's like, oh my god, and people are like, yeah, just use that one, it's easier. It's like
yeah.
nowhere else in the world can you do stuff like this.
It's different. It's a different world, So
Dude, I asked to order a freaking rongeur, a kerosene rongeur. And
What's that?
I don't know what that. Yeah, what is
is
that?
that a surgical instrument?
yeah, it's a surgical instrument.
Yeah.
Hold on,
I should-
we can edit this to make it quicker.
I was like, I've never heard of that in my life. So,
You'll recognize it when you see it.
yeah.
This thing.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. It's
Oh,
not for like the discectomies.
Yeah. Something like this, only with like a replaceable, like you can put 3 different size bites into it.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen that.
And it was like $4,000.
Jesus.
And they're-
It was only
and the person-
$120 by that.
And the
I
person
could build that.
the person ordering it was like, you realize this is $4,000, right? And I'm like, I'm pretty sure we just sold this clinic to a corporate entity for 9 figures. So yeah, go right ahead.
Man.
I'm like, I use this literally every surgery. It's like,
This is the reason
Yeah,
we were
it
doing
is
it.
what
Yeah.
it is. It is what it is, So
oh, we're gonna have to charge the owner this. Okay.
well, do you want the surgery to be done well, or what do you want me
Yeah,
to go
I
in there with
don't
my hand and swoop it out?
Yeah. Just
I
pick it
mean,
out. Toothpick.
Get the Dremel outside. All right, so that officially concludes episode. Like, I think we're at 19 now. So
Yeah,
make sure you
think so.
subscribe to this channel, please. We need a couple more subscribers. Hit us to 1,000 so we can keep going.
Subscribe.
And that's really all I care about is subscriptions. Subscribe to
Yeah.
it. Hit the bell.
Yeah. Watch
You
a
know?
little bit, but mostly subscribe.
Yeah, and I
Just
look
have
forward
fun.
to our next videos coming up.
Question: if you look down and you're not subscribed, just click it.
Just
and
click
then
it.
start
It's
listening.
fine. You can subscribe and then it'll just go into the sidebar. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Yeah. Never look at it again, even
All
if
right.
you don't watch this at all.
Yes.
Download, but don't listen.
All right, we'll see you on the next one.
All right.
Peace
see you,
out.
everyone.
Bye.